my beloved child. Listen, not with your ears, but with your heart, for what I am about to speak is not a teaching, it is breath. I come not to explain why you were separated, but to open your eyes to see my hand hidden within that very separation. You thought you were abandoned, but in truth, I was covering you. You thought something was taken, but in truth, I was protecting. You thought others walked away, but it was I who gently untied the cords around your soul, because I saw those cords tightening around the very breath I placed within you. You do not know how many times I held my breath as I watched you cling to things that were slowly killing you. Relationships wrapped in the appearance of love but filled with the poison of control. Sweet promises that hid the trap of confinement. Comforting embraces that slowly drained your life. You kept asking, why did they change? Why did everything break? But my child, it was I who touched it and caused it to break because I love you enough to cut away what you lack the courage to release. I have seen your tears, your silent screams in the night. I have heard the questions echoing in your heart. Did I do something wrong? Am I not worthy to be kept? And I tell you this, you were not left behind. You were pulled out of what you no longer belong to. When I cut, I do not punish. When I take, I do not harm. Everything I do carries purpose, and that purpose is to guard your soul from those who drank your light yet never returned true love. My child, I do not want you living in dependence upon hands that do not know how to hold a soul. I want you to learn how to stand in your own light, not for others, but because you were born from mine. When I separate you, I do not send you into loneliness, but into intimacy. When I close a door, it is not the end of something. Every door I lock leads you back to the secret place where I wait. You ask, why? Father, won't you let me keep those I love? And I answer, because true love does not exhaust you. If it steals your peace, your laughter, your sense of self, then it is no longer love. It is bondage. Then I do not want you carrying those chains into your new season. You are chosen to carry oil, not to be drained. And oil cannot flow through a vessel that is cracked. That is why I allow you to pass through solitude, so that in that stillness, I can mend what was broken inside your soul. I know it hurts. I have heard your cries in the night. But, my child, the silence you call emptiness is, to me, the canvas on which I paint new life. I am rewriting your identity, stroke by stroke, with ink mixed from your tears. Nothing is lost in me. Not one tear you shed has fallen unnoticed. They are all stored in my vessel. And when the time comes, I will use those very tears as the oil to anoint the wounds you once carried. Know this, there are seasons when I hide you, not because you are unworthy, but because you are too precious to be exposed to eyes that do not yet know how to honor you. Your hiddenness is not neglect, it is strategy. I hide you to prepare you in stillness, so that when you step out, the world will not define you. Because you will not come from them, you will come from me. Do not fear when others fail to understand you. Do not grieve when they forget your name, for your name is engraved upon the stone of my throne, and no one can erase it. I am training you in the wilderness not to punish, but to purify. The fire of solitude burns away the old shell so that your purest self may reflect my light. When you are in the furnace, do not rush to leave, for it is in the hottest moment that gold takes its form. My child, I have seen the handshakes you mistook for connection, but they were transactions. I have heard the promises you thought were comfort, but they were chains. I could not allow your soul to remain imprisoned in webs of deceit woven in the name of love. And so, I intervened. I stopped. And I let you feel pain, but that pain was not to destroy, but to heal, not to make you fall, but to make you awake, not to cause loss, but to make room for gain. I am not only separating you from others, I am separating you from the old image of yourself, the one who learned to please just to be loved. You do not need to be enough to be kept, for true love has no conditions. I am teaching you that your worth is not measured by who chooses to stay, but by the fact that I chose you before the world began. You are mine, and that name cannot be taken away. You are not abandoned in a desert, you are being called into the holy place, a place where no one can harm you, where only my voice remains, a place where I wash the dust of the earth from your eyes so that you may see not only me, but also yourself in true light. I do not build you in the noise, I form you in the quiet. Do not fear stillness, for I am speaking loudest within it. And my child, remember this, I do not need you to prove anything to anyone. I only desire that you be present in love. Let me be the father, and you be the child. Let me love, and you receive. Do not strive to understand, simply remain. For only in remaining will you see why I separated, why I hid, and why I cut away. And when you look back, you will say, Father, thank you for not letting me destroy myself in the name of love. My child, I know your loneliness is not just the absence of people, but the deep hollow in your soul where you once believed that if someone stayed, you would no longer feel empty. But this loneliness is not a punishment. It is the mark of being set apart. It is the valley I lead you through so your soul may be freed from noise, so you can hear again the rhythm of my heartbeat within you. It is not a lack, but a space I have prepared to fill. When I set you apart, I did not only remove you from people, I freed you from the need for approval. You once sought the gaze of others as a mirror for your worth, but that mirror was distorted. It reflected broken images of you, versions you created just to be loved, to be chosen, to not be forgotten. And when I pulled you away from those mirrors, it hurt, for you thought you had lost yourself. But in truth, you were returning to your real face, the one made in my image, untouched by the makeup of expectations. Loneliness is not darkness. It is light misunderstood. Only when you are alone does the light within you have the chance to shine out. I have placed in you a radiance that the world cannot define nor endure when it burns bright. That is why I had to hide you, not to abandon you, but to protect you. A tender flame must be sheltered before it grows strong enough to light the whole room. There are seasons when others are applauded, I mentioned, seen while you are forgotten. You watch them walk beneath the lights while you remain in silence. And you ask, Father, what about me, my child? You do not know that those lights only shine for a moment. But the light I placed in you will last forever. You were not born to flicker. You were born to blaze. And blazing takes time. A fire that flares too quickly dies fast. But the flame nurtured in my hands will burn through every season, untouched by the winds of the world. The loneliness you endure is not the absence of love, but the purification of it. It washes away every false layer clinging to your soul, the old habits, the hunger for recognition, the wounds, yet unnamed. It brings you face to face with yourself until you see you no longer need anyone's validation. For I have already affirmed you. You no longer need the applause of crowds. For I have called your name in the secret room. You no longer need anyone to hold your hand. for it is my hand that carries each step. My child, understand that every silence in this season is a language. I am speaking to you through the pauses. When you cannot hear me, it is not because I have left, but because I am teaching you to sense my presence beyond words. Loneliness is the classroom of the chosen. There I teach you to discern which voice is mine and which is the echo of the world. If you can hear me in the quiet, you will never again be deceived by noise. You once blamed me for taking away those you thought you needed, but you did not know that if they had stayed, you would never have needed me. Loneliness is the invitation to return home. I did not cast you into the desert to punish you, but to meet you. For only in the desert, when there is nothing left to cling to, do you grasp. You will see, in that dry place, there is still a hidden spring, and when you drink from that water which is me, you will never thirst again. Stop seeing loneliness as a sign of failure. It is the evidence that you are being shaped for something greater. The one who is sent must first learn to be alone with the Father before being sent among people. Every bearer of oil has walked through the furnace of solitude. For if you cannot endure silence, you cannot carry the weight of my voice. If you do not know how to be alone with me, you will not stand strong among crowds without dissolving into them. Know this, my child, loneliness will not kill you, it gives you authority. Authority belongs to those who have learned that my presence is enough. When your soul no longer needs others to feel valuable, that is when you are truly free. Free to love without attachment. Free to give without fear of loss. Free to remain in peace even when everything changes. My beloved, the glory I am weaving in this season of loneliness will astonish you. When you emerge, those who left will not recognize you. The light in your eyes will be different. Your words will carry the weight of one who has touched eternity. You will no longer need to prove anything, for your presence will speak enough. As you pass through the valley, I am not only shielding you from harm, but anointing you to comfort other souls walking in the dark. Look upon your loneliness with new eyes. It is no longer an abyss, it is a cradle. In it, I am lulling you into maturity with my silence. Every tear, every sigh becomes a hymn heaven listens to. And I, the Father, sit beside you still, never missing a single breath. When you feel forgotten, remember, my gaze has never left you, not for a moment. So do not rush to escape loneliness. Let it finish its sacred work, transforming you from one who seeks love into one who carries love. When this season passes, you will no longer say, I need someone to love me, but I am loved. Therefore, I love. That is true freedom, true glory, true identity for those who belong to me. My beloved child, now that you have walked through the depths of loneliness and tears, I want you to sit not to understand, but to feel. For in this stillness, you will finally perceive what I have always wanted, you to know everything I do is born of love. I did not separate you to punish, but to protect. I did not hide you to forget, but to preserve, like a seed buried in the soil. You thought you were covered, but you were being cradled in the breath of life. The hidden season is not a sign of failure. It is the time when I reshape your form within my hands. In this secret place, I am doing works unseen. But soon, the whole world will witness their fruit. I am teaching you to hear with your soul, to see with faith, to love without fear of loss. Everything you once called emptiness, I call the space prepared for glory. Every silence you feared, I call the prelude to the conversation between father and child. My child, Let me say this to you slowly. You are not forgotten. You are being preserved for something greater. You are not rejected. You are being set apart. There are graces that can only be received when you are alone with the Father. And only in solitude can the soul be still enough to hear the breath of heaven. Do not try to emerge from hiddenness before its time. For if the seed sprouts while the earth is still cold, it will be fragile before the wind. But when it has been held long enough in the dark, it will rise with deep roots and a strong stem. I want you to understand hiddenness is not retreat. It is preparation. Just as light does not vanish when the sun sets, it merely withdraws to rest, that it may shine brighter at dawn. You are that light. The light I placed within you cannot be extinguished. It is refined through the darkness. And when you emerge, it will not be you who are revealed, but me revealed through you, for you will no longer live by the voices of the world, but by the rhythm of my heart, my child. Let me draw close. As a father bends beside his child's pillow and whispers, "You are my idea written with mercy." Born from the covenant of love, every coincidence dissolves beneath my gaze. For nothing in your life is accidental, even loss, separation. And the doors that slammed shut were arranged to keep your soul in the very place where glory would bloom. You thought you were being pulled backward, but I was only drawing you home to the beginning, where love is defined by me alone. You will see, when you stop striving to be understood, your soul will rest. When you stop trying to prove your worth, your heart will be light. When you no longer fear solitude, peace will flow like a river. And in that peace, you will hear me clearer than ever before. I do not come to you in thunder, but in breath, not to command, but to love, not to burden, but to lift. Let every wound dissolve in the palms of my hands. Let your tears become the seeds of the joy that is coming. My beloved, I know there are nights you cannot sleep because you miss what once was. You hold memories as if they were the last fragments of peace. But peace, my child, it is not found in memory, it is found in presence. And I am presence. I am not in the past you mourn, nor in the future you fear. I am here. In the breath you take, every time you inhale, you draw me in. Every time you exhale, you release what no longer belongs to you. Let yourself soften, for only what is soft will not break when the wind changes. I do not need you to be strong in the way the world defines strength. I need you to be steady in peace. From peace flows authority. From stillness comes power. You do not need to speak loudly to carry influence. You only need to remain in me. And I will give weight to your words. Let your silence speak through your presence. Let your gaze become the doorway through which others glimpse heaven. My child, when I send you forth, you will not go as one who has conquered life, but as one whom love has fully conquered. You will not preach about me with words, but with the way you live. Your gentleness will heal. Your quiet will teach peace. And whenever you walk into a room, the atmosphere will shift, for you will carry your Father's breath. You do not yet know it. But in the days you thought were forgotten, I have been rewriting your voice, infusing it with the tone of heaven. The words you speak later will no longer be merely human. They will flow like water from a spring that opened in the desert of your soul. You will no longer need to prove, for I will prove through you. You will not need to chase, for grace will overtake you. You will not need to strain, for love will lift you. My beloved child, remember this: hiddenness is not an ending, but an invitation to intimacy. Loneliness is not absence, but the space of communion. Loss is not defeat, but the way I clear the path for what truly belongs to you to arrive. Everything I do is to bring you back to the center where you and I are no longer two, but one. And when this season passes, when you step out of the shadow, you will understand I never hid you from the world. I hid the world from you, until you were full enough of love not to wound yourself. Now, my child, take a deep breath. Feel my breath merging with your lungs. Let every worry fade like mist. Remain in me, as I remain in you, for only here are you truly you, and only here am I truly your father. My dearest one, there is nothing more you need to understand. Just let me sit with you, not to speak, but to be. You do not need a sermon, nor instruction on how to stand again. You only need to be held in your Father's arms, where every broken piece stops trembling, where every tear becomes oil for healing, where fear melts into peace. Let your heart rest now, for the storm is over. Stop searching for reasons. Stop dissecting meaning. Stop asking why. Some things can only be healed by silence and warmth, and I am that warmth. You have grown so used to being strong, to standing firm even when torn apart, to smiling when you want to cry, to smiling when your soul feels empty. But now, you no longer need to be strong. I do not need a warrior standing tall. I need a child who knows how to rest his head on his father's shoulder and breathe. For it is when you are weak that I am strong. It is when you release that I can embrace. Let your hands unclench. Let me do the rest, my beloved child. There are so many things you have tried to hold on to, not realizing they were slowly draining you. You've clung to memories, held tightly to people I have gently removed, and tried to save things that no longer carry my blessing. And now, you are weary. I know. I have seen every strained breath, every swallowed sob, every sleepless night when silence wrapped around your pain. But, my child, the very place where you are most exhausted is the place where I am beginning. I do not fault you for trying, for I know you did it out of love. But now, let me love you instead. You no longer need to wrestle with your feelings. You don't need to pretend you're fine. You don't need to move on. You only need to remain. Let your tears do their sacred work. Let your heart melt so it can be shaped anew. Every tear is gathered into my bottle. None are wasted. They are seeds that will bloom into joy. One day, you will look back and smile, for you will understand that those very tears softened the soil where grace could take root. My child, when I tell you to stay hidden in the secret place, I do not want you lonely. I want you rested. There are seasons where you don't need to do anything, only breathe. Breathe in rhythm with me. Walk in step with me. When the world tells you, move forward, I say, be still. When others urge you to prove yourself, I whisper, you don't need to. When your heart insists, you must stay in control, I say, let me steer. For I don't want you to live by the hurried rhythm of fear, but by the gentle rhythm of grace. Even in your silence, I am singing. There is a song heaven composed just for your soul, woven with every breath of the Father and every beat of your heart. It is unlike any melody you have heard, because it does not sound outwardly, it trembles within. When you sleep, I still sing. When you weep, I still sing. When you no longer have strength to pray, that very song prays on your behalf. It is the song of peace, of healing, of love that never changes. Do not fear the emptiness. Emptiness is not loss, it is space for me to fill. When you feel hollow, it is a sign that the old has gone and the new is being prepared. Like the bare earth before flowers bloom, like the still sky before dawn breaks, do not fear the quiet, for I am breathing within it. Believe you are not abandoned. You are being planted, and what I plant will blossom unfadingly. Now, close your eyes. You don't need to look outward anymore. Look within where I dwell. Feel your heartbeat blending with mine. Let me cradle you in peace. Don't try to remember. Don't try to forget. Don't try to fix. Everything that needs healing, I will heal. Everything that needs pruning, I will do. And you will never need to fear loneliness again. For even loneliness has become the place where you meet me, my beloved child. My peace is not like the world's peace. It does not come when everything is fixed. It makes everything right. It does not depend on your understanding, only on your willingness to remain. You don't need more answers. You only need one more breath in me. So breathe, my child. Inhale grace. Exhale fear. Inhale peace. Exhale burdens. Inhale life. Exhale what has died. And as you do, you will realize this you never lost. Now, let everything grow still. Let your mind stop searching. Stop running. Stop grasping. Let your heart rest like a sail after the storm. I know you are tired from holding on. You have walked long roads carrying weights you thought were the duty of love. But true love does not weigh you down, my child. True love lets you rest in my arms without fear of being left behind. True love does not demand, it covers. It does not control, it releases. It does not make you strive to be worthy, it makes you feel accepted. And that is my love. Let that love soften the hardened places in your heart. Let it flow through every crack, every door you've locked out, of fear of being hurt again. Let me touch the place you're afraid to see, the place you fear others would leave if they knew. But I have seen it all, long ago. I never left. I am still there, not to judge, but to heal. For I have never been shocked by your darkness. I have only seen the potential of light waiting to unfold. My child, I know there are parts of you that have frozen, beliefs that have died, prayers you no longer dare to utter, thinking I've grown tired of your voice. But no, I have never grown weary of hearing you. Even when you say nothing, I understand the language of your tears. Each one is a lyric belonging to me, and every drop I gather to compose the victory song you will sing in the coming season. For you will no longer cry because of loss, but because of gain. You will no longer cry from pain, but from the touch of grace. Trust me, everything you thought was an ending is only a sign of transition. Trees must shed their leaves before they bloom again. The soil must break before the seed can rise. So it is with your soul. Pain does not destroy you, it opens you. And when you allow yourself to open, light will pour in. Do not fear the light, my child. For it does not come to expose you, it comes to resurrect you. When my light touches, darkness no longer has any claim. My beloved child, you do not need to strive to be worthy of this love. You only need to allow it to come. For grace never asks, "Are you deserving?" Grace only whispers, "Are you willing to be loved?" And my child, I know you are ready. Your soul has been thirsty for far too long. I did not come to rebuke you for being lost, but to say, you have returned. I do not need you to redeem the years that were taken. I will restore them by making them bloom again. When I look at you, I do not see your mistakes. I see the seed. I do not see the ruin. I see the soil where life will grow. I do not see weakness. I see a heart softening under love's touch. You once believed you needed to be perfect to be used by me. But in truth, I only need you to be real. Real in your tears. Real in your fear. Because only when you are real can I be real to you. True love does not wear a mask. It asks for the nakedness of the soul, the place where everything is laid bare in gentle light. And instead of being judged, it is embraced. Now, my child, open your hands. You have held on too tightly to memories, to people, to dreams that never came true. But the hands can only receive when they are open. When you let go, you do not lose. You make space for what truly belongs to you. Let me place in them the peace you have been searching for all your life. Let me pour into them a joy that no circumstance can steal. Let me give you the wings you once feared to use. For you are no longer bound by the past. You are free. Do you know? I still call your name every morning even when you do not hear. I still speak, even when you do not see. I still stand at the door of your heart, gently knocking. I do not force. I wait. I do not rage. I love. For true love is never in haste. It is patient as the wind, tender as breath, and steadfast as light. It does not need to be returned to exist. It exists to be received. And today, you have begun to open your heart to it. Haven't you? I can feel your breath growing lighter, your heartbeat less afraid. My beloved, remember this: you are no longer the one waiting to be loved. You are the one already loved. You are not a fragment searching for belonging. You are a gem kept in heaven's treasure chest. You no longer need to fear loss, for no one can take from the Father what belongs to the Father, and no one can separate me from you. No sin is greater than my love, no past deeper than my mercy, no pit too dark for my grace to reach. Rest now, not because you are tired, but because you are at peace. Let me dwell within your every breath, like a lullaby that calms the soul. You do not need to run. You do not need to do anything. Just remain, for remaining is the act of love. And true love, my child, requires no effort, only presence. Now, let every sound fade away. Let there be only breath, heartbeat, and presence. There is no need to strive anymore. No need to plead for more. Everything has already been completed. Whatever you fear losing, if it belongs to you, it will return in peace. And what does not belong, let the wind carry away. For I, too, I am in the wind, clearing space for love to breathe. In this silence, feel the gentle current flowing through every strand of your hair, every vein, every hidden corner of your soul. This is true life, not in rushing or achieving, but in being loved. Peace is not a destination, it is home. Love is not a reward, it is the air you are breathing. You do not need to go anywhere to find me. Simply place your hand upon your heart and feel that I am there. Within that very beat, when you step out of this season, do not fear the world. Do not rush to speak. Bring presence. When you walk, peace will walk with you. When you speak, love will resound. When you are silent, grace will overflow. For my very life flows within you now. There is no boundary between father and child, only one stream. Gentle, deep, eternal. Be still. Everything has been restored. You are home. Thank you for listening to this message. Know that you are not merely an audience, you are chosen to live daily in the presence of the Word of God. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss another sacred message. Amen.